What happened across Mississippi last night is the kind of event that reminds every one of us why we take severe weather so seriously. 4 tornado emergencies in a single day. Wedge tornadoes on the ground for well over an hour, carving paths through Lincoln County, Lawrence County, and Jefferson Davis County. And as the sun comes up this Thursday morning, the damage assessments are just beginning in the Brookhaven area near Bude and the communities throughout southwestern Mississippi. This is a heavy moment, and we still have a complicated, genuinely strange weather pattern ahead of us through the next 2 weeks. So let's get right into the forecast, talk about what comes next, and make sure you know what days to watch. Before anything else, I want to address what unfolded in Mississippi yesterday evening because this is not a footnote. This is the story. The Storm Prediction Center had an enhanced risk in place for much of southern Mississippi heading into Wednesday, and that setup delivered exactly what forecasters feared. What we saw was a long-track supercell staying on the ground through multiple counties, producing at least 2 tornadoes that appear to be pushing into the violent range based on preliminary damage indicators. The National Weather Service in Jackson issued tornado emergencies for Bude, Meadville, McCall Creek, Brookhaven, and Bogue Chitto. A tornado emergency is reserved for confirmed, destructive, life-threatening tornadoes already on the ground. 4 of those in one day is extraordinarily rare. We had a confirmed dangerous tornado near Meadville moving east at 50 miles per hour, another near Enterprise threatening Brookhaven directly. Mobile homes were destroyed. Significant damage has been documented across the Brookhaven area. Fatalities are being confirmed this morning, and a number of people remain critically injured. The Mississippi Emergency Management Agency is coordinating search and rescue. If you have loved ones near Brookhaven or Lincoln County, please check in on them. Now let's talk about why this happened and why the pattern that caused it is going to keep generating threats for the next several days. There is a deep upper-level trough anchored over the Great Lakes, and it has been sitting there. This is an anomalous setup for the beginning of May. That trough is the reason Colorado just got buried under 1 to 2 feet of late-season snow, and it is the same reason the jet stream has been driving strong southwesterly flow into the lower Mississippi Valley. When you combine that upper-level configuration with abundant Gulf moisture pushing north and strong wind shear, you get the environment we had yesterday. The important thing to understand is that this pattern is not going anywhere quickly. The trough is going to persist, and that means repeated severe weather opportunities continue over the coming days, even if none of the upcoming events reach what Mississippi experienced last night. Here is the day-by-day breakdown. Today, Thursday, May 7th, the Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk stretching from the central Gulf Coast through southern Georgia, with a separate marginal area across the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. The bigger story today is actually excessive rainfall. The Weather Prediction Center has a marginal risk of excessive rainfall focused from the central Gulf Coast through southern Georgia. The cold front that produced yesterday's tornadoes is continuing to press southeast, and as it moves, heavy rain remains the primary threat from southern Alabama through South Georgia toward the northern Florida panhandle. If you are near Pensacola, Tallahassee, or Valdosta, the biggest concern through the morning hours is flash flooding. Damaging winds and an isolated brief tornado remain possible in stronger cells ahead of this front, but the severe weather picture today is significantly more limited than yesterday. Activity will concentrate in the morning hours, and by late afternoon, most of this pushes offshore or weakens. Friday shifts the focus back to the central and southern plains. An upper shortwave trough digs across Texas while a second one migrates from the central Rockies into the central plains. At the surface, a dry line is expected along western Kansas, western Oklahoma, and western Texas. With Gulf moisture gradually working northward, you have ingredients for storm development along that dry line by Friday afternoon and evening. If you are in the Oklahoma City area, Tulsa, or southwest Kansas, Friday afternoon is worth being weather aware for. The primary threats look like isolated damaging wind gusts and large hail with a low tornado potential, most likely in eastern Oklahoma, where the atmosphere is slightly more favorable. The environment Friday is not explosive. Deep layer flow is modest, and how far north quality moisture returns before storm initiation will determine whether organized supercells fire or storms stay scattered and weak. Do not write this day off, but do not expect a major outbreak. Saturday continues a similar theme across Oklahoma and Kansas. Instability. Saturday appears suppressed compared to Friday, and the threat looks limited to an isolated hail risk. I would be genuinely surprised if Saturday produced anything widespread or significant. Stay weather aware, keep your alerts on, but this is not the marquee day of the weekend. Sunday is where things get complicated. A large-scale upper trough shifts eastward, extending from the lower Great Lakes toward the eastern Gulf by Monday morning. A surface low is organizing ahead of it. Ahead of the cold front pushing south, a moist air mass is in place across the south-central United States and into the southeast. The question becomes whether meaningful destabilization can occur given expected widespread cloud cover and ongoing precipitation. The Storm Prediction Center is flagging low predictability for Sunday. An isolated wind and hail threat is possible, and a low tornado risk cannot be ruled out from the southern plains back through parts of the southeast. But widespread, organized, severe weather Sunday looks unlikely based on current data. Monday and Tuesday are the days I want you to start paying closer attention to. The trailing portion of the cold front is expected to stall across the southern plains and into the south by Tuesday. With Gulf moisture attempting to surge back north and a stalling boundary in place, you could get enough destabilization across Oklahoma, North Texas, and eastern Kansas to support a round of severe storms. A slight risk of severe thunderstorms is being hinted at for portions of Oklahoma and Texas on Tuesday. Primary hazards would be damaging wind gusts and large hail, with a tornado threat possible depending on how the low-level wind profile evolves. I am not calling Tuesday a high-end day by any stretch. But if you are in the Dallas to Oklahoma City corridor, Tuesday is worth watching closely. Confidence is still low enough that this could verify as a significant event or as an isolated non-event depending on exactly how the setup evolves. Across the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes, the story is different. The closed upper-level low over eastern Canada continues cycling shortwave energy southward, keeping the pattern active from today through at least Monday. Widespread showers and thunderstorms are likely along the frontal boundary sweeping through, with locally heavy rainfall possible. The Weather Prediction Center is already flagging a flash flood risk from eastern Tennessee through southern Indiana into early next week. If you are in Columbus, Indianapolis, or Cincinnati, the bigger weather story through Monday is not severe thunderstorms. It is significant rainfall. Travel could be impacted, and if you are in an area with already saturated soil, be alert to flooding. Looking further out, here is the big wild card. Around May 12th through May 17th, there is a growing signal in the models that a large ridge could build across the Great Plains. If that ridge verifies, it would suppress severe weather in the Central Plains during that window. That would be unusual for mid-May. But ensemble guidance is also showing a potential return to a much more active, severe weather pattern beginning around May 18th through May 23rd, possibly across a broad area from the Great Plains into the Midwest and Ohio Valley. That is still more than 2 weeks away, and confidence is low, but it is worth keeping on your radar. Here is the bottom line on this genuinely bizarre stretch of weather. An upper-level trough parked over the Great Lakes in early May is producing late-season snow in Colorado, tornado emergencies in Mississippi, and is about to cycle through a series of smaller-scale severe weather events across the plains and Midwest, driven more by mesoscale features than classic synoptic setups. The atmosphere is going to keep making things difficult to pin down with high confidence day to day. But the overall pattern favors repeated storm opportunities with lower predictability on any specific high-end outbreak through the middle of next week. Make sure your weather alerts are turned on and your plan is ready. This season has already proven it can deliver hard when the ingredients align. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, do that now so you stay ahead of every update as this active stretch plays out. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.